Hello students, in this session we will be talking about elasticity. Okay, so elasticity of demand, a very important concept. Now before that, we have in the previous session we have talked about demand. Okay, so if you go for a quick recap of what we have done in the previous session, we have talked about demand, we talked about supply, we talked about law of demand, we talked about law of supply. We have seen demand curve is downward and we have seen supply curve is upward. We have seen the determinants of demand, we have seen the determinants of supply, and we have talked about the equilibrium also, market equilibrium. We have talked about invisible hand, market mechanism. All these concepts are done. So now today we will be talking about elasticity of demand. Now when we talk about elasticity of demand, means it's all about how much demand is responsive to the change in prices. See, what we have discussed, the law of demand: if the price is increasing, the quantity demanded will decrease. Okay, because more the price, demand will come down. So this was your demand curve, right? More the price, less the demand. Less the price, this is price, and this is demand, quantity demanded. Less the price, more the demand. Demand increasing when price falling. Okay, now here in elasticity, what you're trying to do is you're trying to understand how much demand is responsive to the change in price, whether demand is changing more than the change in price, or even if the price is changed, demand is not changing or not. Okay, so all these are the understanding that you're going to have from elasticity of demand. So in simple terms, elasticity of demand means how much demand is responsive to the change in price. So price is changing, so what is expected? Demand will be changing. If price is increasing, demand will be decreasing. If price is decreasing, demand will be increasing. This is the expectation, and how much it will be. And based on that, different concepts are there: elastic demand, inelastic demand, unitary elastic demand, perfect inelastic demand, etc. Different concepts are there, and all these are what we are going to solve now. So this is going to be a very important session. You can expect a prelims question from this area. Very important conceptual session. Okay, so we are building the concepts in the beginning. That's why I'm taking demand supply as the first module. Then every chapter we will be talking about all these things later. I'll use these words: this is elastic, this is inelastic, when we discuss about future topics in economy. So understand it very carefully, read between the lines when we are discussing, revise it before you sit for the next session. I hope this is clear. Okay, so elasticity of demand means I've told you responsiveness of demand to the change in price. Now how will you understand this? So let me write down the definition here. It is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of a commodity, to the change in its price. Okay, so it is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded of a commodity to the change in its price. Okay, now it can be also represented like this. Elasticity of demand could be explained or expressed in terms of E. So E is the elasticity of demand, equal to percentage change in quantity demanded in the numerator upon the percentage change in prices. So how much quantity demanded is changing for the change in price, so that ratio. Okay, this is what you mean by elasticity. Now if you look into this, what are the possibilities here? When you take E value, E can be greater than 1. In which situation E will be greater than 1? You get E greater than 1 when the numerator is high. When the numerator is high means percentage change in quantity demanded will be more than percentage change in the price. That means maybe price changed 10%, but quantity demanded is more than 10%. That is the situation. So change in the numerator is more than the change in the denominator. That's when you get it positive. And this is known as elastic demand. Elastic demand. If you want, I'll show you an example here by drawing a diagram. That will be very easy for you to understand elastic demand. So this is your demand curve. Okay, so here it is quantity demanded, here it is price. Now you draw a flatter curve in case of elastic demand. Normally you draw like this, right? So, and don't make it too vertical and don't make it too horizontal. Make a flatter curve, something like this, just to explain this concept. Okay, so first scenario, let's take this as a first scenario. At this point, this is a quantity demanded at this price. Let's say P1, quantity demanded is Q1. Now let's take a different scenario. Price is reduced. Okay, price is reduced. So you can see here price is coming down. Obviously quantity demanded will be more, but let's suppose this price came from P1 to P2. Let's assume that this is 10%. Do you think that the quantity demanded is increased to 10% or more than that? You can see from this gap itself. Here the gap is small, but here the gap is huge, right? So what you can understand here, percentage change in quantity demanded is much more than the percentage change in price. That is an example of this case. Okay, so here if you see, this demand will be always, in case of this, E will be more than 1, E greater than 1. Why? Because percentage change in quantity demanded, you can see here this portion is higher than the percentage change in price, and this is what we call as elastic demand. This will happen in case of luxury items. Okay, in case of luxury items, when you have choices available, this demand will be there. For example, car. When the prices of the car is coming down, you may try to demand it more. When the price of gold coming down, you may try to demand more. But it won't happen in the case of food. It is not the case that, you know, if the price is coming down, you are waiting for the price to come down to buy food, right? So in case of food, this is not applicable. Food, it is different case. That is inelastic case, I'll tell you. So price is not, you know, food items or the essential items are not elastic. Okay, luxury items are elastic. The reason is, if you take food, you will not be waiting for the price to come down. At the same time, even if the price is going up, you are buying and consuming the, you know, food, right? See, let's suppose you are consuming rice. Okay, you are consuming rice. Even if the food price is going up, you will still consume rice. You don't have any other choice to survive. If the food price is coming down, you are not going to consume 2 times the rice that you used to do, right? Used to eat. Okay, so this will not affect the demand. These kinds of items, that is essential items, will not change drastically by changing the price. It is actually not connected to price. Whether the price is increasing or not, there will be always demand for these items. These are inelastic items. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about those items which are necessary, inelastic items. For example, E less than 1. E less than 1 means what? Quantity demanded will be less, price may change more, right? So here quantity demanded changed more than the change in price. So there E was greater than 1, elastic demand. Inelastic demand means, so E less than 1, what situation? What situation you will get E less than 1? You will get in this situation where the percentage change in quantity demanded will be less than the percentage change in the price. The exact opposite situation. So price is changing here, but quantity demanded is not changing much. If you take salt, salt is essential, right? So to have in your food, salt is required. So you will buy salt. Whether the price is increasing or decreasing, it doesn't matter. It is not the case that price is increasing, so you stop consuming salt. Similarly, if the price is decreased, doesn't mean that you will consume twice the amount of salt. Do you put 2 times the salt in your rice? No. Or in your any food items? No, you won't do that, right? So the demand for salt is considered as inelastic demand. Inelastic demand. Or for example, if you take medicine, okay, medicine, do you think the change in price will affect the consumption of medicine? Let's suppose you have cancer. Okay, you have cancer, so you need to buy medicine. Okay, and are you waiting to reduce the price of medicine? No. At current price you will buy. If the price is increasing, still you will buy. Okay, and you are not stopping consumption of medicine. If the price is decreasing, that doesn't mean that you will consume 2 times medicine, or only 1 time you need to take medicine. That when the price is reducing, you are taking medicine for 5 times also. Is that happening? No. So these are essential items. Essential items, the demand is inelastic. It won't fluctuate. It won't change much. Depends on the change in price. It is having less impact on change in price. There may be situation where you can see zero change in demand, no change at all. that is perfectly inelastic. Why? The medicine is actually an example for no change at all, because you will buy it whether the price is increasing or decreasing. You will definitely buy it. Salt, again, you may have some choice. So salt, I could say inelastic, but medicine, I would say inelastic. So there you will see, you can see next possibility is E equal to 0. E equal to 0 means numerator is 0. That means percentage change in QD will be 0 here. That means demand is not changing even if the price is changing. Medicine, price is changing, increasing or decreasing, you keep on buying exactly the same. You are not buying more, you are not buying less. It will be the same. So I hope you understood what I mean to say. And most important concepts are these two, E less than 1 and E greater than 1. E less than 1 is inelastic demand. E greater than 1 is elastic demand. This is in case of luxury, when you have choices are there. This is in case of necessity. Now, the extreme case of inelasticity is what I have discussed, E equal to 0, where quantity demanded will not change at all. No situation whether the price is increasing or decreasing, it won't change at all. Some cases like sugar, salt, etc., there can be some small changes possible, but here medicines, etc., no change at all. Okay, and essential medicine, not like vitamin tablets, etc., that may be inelastic, but cancer drug, etc., that will be perfectly inelastic. Okay, so here E will be 0. Which situation? When percentage change in QD is equal to 0. That means no change in demand. So I would write it as perfectly inelastic. Okay, now theoretically these two are possible, and theoretically I can talk about 5 combination also, but practically these two are important from our economics point of view. Okay, I didn't show you here inelastic, the curve, right? I'll show you in a curve so that you will understand better. So here I'll take quantity demanded, here I'll take the price. Okay, now what I'll do is in case of inelastic, I'll take a steeper curve. Earlier I've taken a flatter curve close to horizontal. Now I take a steeper curve close to vertical. Okay, so almost like this supply curve, this demand curve steeper. Not exactly vertical, steeper, but more the steeper the curve is, you will get more understanding. Okay, so let's take one situation here. This is my first situation. So here at this price P1, this is a quantity demanded Q1. Now price is dropping to this level, and this time quantity demanded is Q2. So you can see here price change is so high, the percentage change in price is more, but quantity demanded is not changing that much. That is what this. Okay, the price change is more here. Quantity demanded is not changing that much. Earlier it was the opposite. You can see here more change in quantity demanded with less change in price. Now more change in price but less change in quantity demanded. So this is inelastic demand. This one is elastic demand. Okay, elastic demand in case of luxuries, inelastic demand in case of necessities. So both can be understood in terms of choice. If choice is there, it is elastic demand. If choice is not there, it is inelastic demand. Okay, so this is perfectly inelastic. Now theoretically speaking, what are the other possibility? You can say E equal to 1 will be another possibility. E equal to 1 means, how will you say this? E equal to 1, how is it possible? Both will be equal. Quantity demanded will change at 10%, and the price also will change at 10%. So both change equally. So that situation is what you understand as perfectly, or unitary elasticity demand. So here percentage change in QD equal to percentage change in the price. So these two are equal. 10% price changed, 10% demand changed. So how will you write this, or what is this? Unitary elastic demand. So I hope you understood. In case of elastic demand, curve is flatter, almost close to horizontal. In case of inelastic demand, curve is steeper, close to vertical. In case of perfectly inelastic, it will be vertical, right? It will go like this. Perfectly inelastic, it will be going like this. And what about the next possibility? One more possibility is there. So we have discussed the case where both are equal, and quantity demanded more, the price will be more, and both are equal. and 1 is numerator 0. Now denominator can be 0, right? So when denominator is 0, E will tend to infinity. So what is that? E equal to infinity. So this is perfectly elastic demand. Perfectly elastic demand. So how will you represent this? This will be earlier elastic demand close to horizontal, that means flatter. Now it will be perfectly elastic, so it will be horizontal. So vertical means perfectly inelastic, horizontal is perfectly elastic, close to vertical, this one, this is inelastic, close to horizontal, that is elastic. So horizontal is elastic, close to horizontal, horizontal is perfectly elastic, close to horizontal is elastic. Vertical is perfectly inelastic, close to vertical is inelastic. Okay, and the other one we have seen, that is unitary elastic also. So these are the 5 theoretical possibilities. Now if you see one important concept, okay, why this agricultural commodities are always volatile, the prices of agricultural commodities, you won't see the prices of gold or any other commodities is going so faster or changing so faster, but onion, if you see this month 10 rupee, next month you may see 100 rupee, then again it will come back to 20 rupee, then it will again go back to 90 rupee. So why this is so much fluctuating, or why this is so volatile, agricultural commodities, I can explain by using this concept. Because if you see agricultural product, now let's draw the demand and supply curve, and with that we can explain. But if you see the agricultural product, what do you think about the demand of agricultural product? It is inelastic, right? Because it is essential item, it is necessary item. So from the demand point of view, it is inelastic. That means you need to draw a steeper curve. I hope you understood why it is inelastic. Now from the supply point of view also, this agricultural commodities are inelastic. The reason is there is not enough cold storage here, so farmers cannot keep it like that, and these are perishable items. So when these are perishable and when you don't have enough cold storage, these are going to be inelastic from the supply side also. Okay, so from supply side also you need to draw a steeper curve. So let's try to draw that curves. The steeper you draw, you will get a better understanding. It will be very difficult for me to draw with this pen here in this iPad, but you can do it properly in your book. I want you to draw very close to vertical, both demand and supply curve. That means more the steeper, more will be your understanding. Okay, so I hope you understood why it is inelastic from both sides. It is necessary item, so inelastic from demand side. It is perishable item, so it is inelastic from the supply side also. So first we will draw demand curve close to vertical. This is demand curve. Then we will draw supply curve. This is also close to vertical. Close to vertical I have drawn. Okay, now let's suppose this is the initial position situation. So this is the price, let's say P1, this is price, and this is quantity, and this is the quantity Q1. Okay, now imagine a possibility that the supply is increased. Okay, so supply is increased like this. So you can see here supply changed this much only. Supply increase, so this is supply curve, no? This is demand curve, supply curve. So supply increase means supply curve shift rightward. I've told you this rightward shift and leftward shift, etc. in the previous session. If you missed out those videos, you have to watch that videos, okay? You can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID, or you can join the Telegram channel, or you can directly connect to me. I've already given you my number and everything. So for regular classes, okay, 98955 77775 9790 892 697. Any of this you can message, WhatsApp, Telegram, or you can get in touch with me directly. You can call also. So this change you can see here this much only. Now on the other hand, if you see the change in prices, you see here the prices of agricultural commodities have come down drastically. So there is a variation in supply. Supply changed. Now who's going to be affected? The farmers are going to be affected here. Why? Because supply is more, so the prices are coming down much. Let's say 10% supply is more. Here you can see at least 25% reduction in price. So farmers will be affected. And exactly opposite in the case if the supply is less. If the curve is shifting rightward, then who will suffer? So if this much only, there is a small change in supply, you can see the price is increased this much. right? Then the consumer will suffer. So that is why agricultural products are so volatile. So that's the reason why the prices of agricultural products are also so volatile. Even a small change in supply will affect the prices drastically. Why the small change in supply is affecting the agricultural prices? Because it is inelastic both from demand side as well as supply side. You can't stop consuming this. It is necessary item, and at the same time these are perishable items. So it is inelastic from both supply and demand side. So even a small variation in supply, if it is an increase, the prices will come down drastically, farmers will suffer. If there is a decrease in supply, the prices will shoot up like anything and the consumers will suffer. And that's exactly what is actually happening in case of onion prices and all other items. So I hope you understood this point. Now next one which I want to discuss is the paradox of poverty of farmers. Paradox means what? It's a typical situation that the farmers are always poor. The paradox of poverty of farmers means when the bumper production is there, it is expected that the farmers will get more money because bumper production, but they will struggle like anything in case of bumper production. And if there is a shortage in production or crop failure, then also farmers will suffer. So in both these situations, why farmers are suffering? One, crop failure, it's okay, there is no production, so then farmers may suffer. But if there is bumper production also, they are suffering. And normal situation, I am not saying anything, you already know farmer situation is so poor. Normal situation, anyway they are poor. In case of crop failure, they are more than poor. In case of bumper production, even worse will be the situation. So practically speaking, farmers are always poor and they are trapped in that poverty. What is the reason for this poverty trap? And what is this paradox of poverty of farmer? Let's try to understand that. So let's talk about the case of a farmer A. Okay, so he is farming, or he is producer of potato. Okay, so let's say let's draw the steeper curve. So potato is perishable item, so demand is there, demand is inelastic, supply is also inelastic. So you draw steeper curve in both case, demand and supply. So steeper demand curve and steeper supply curve. So this is supply, this is demand. Now, so this is normal situation. Let's say he is producing 10,000 kg of potato. Okay, so he is producing 10,000 kilogram of potato at, let's say, 10 rupee. 10,000 kg of potato at, let's say, 10 rupee. So okay, now here how much is his revenue or turnover? 1 lakh is the turnover. How much is his expenditure? Maybe 40 lakh or 40,000 or 50,000. Let's say 50,000 is the expenditure. So what is his profit? 50,000 is his profit in this situation. Now imagine there is a situation that the supply is increased, bumper production. So supply increase means I am shifting the supply curve. I am shifting the supply curve. So you can see here supply changed. Okay, you can see here the prices have come down drastically. So supply is increased means the prices have come down more than the increase in supply. So this is what actually happens in case of bumper production. So 10 rupee potato now will be sold at 2 rupee. Okay, now production supply increase, maybe 10,000 to 13,000 it is increased. Let's say 14,000 it is increased. Let's say 14,000 increases there. Now if 14,000 increases there, so you see here 14,000 into 2, 28,000 he will get, right? 28,000 he will get. What is the expenditure? Expenditure remain the same, 50,000. Now here he is having a loss, right? 22,000 loss is there in case of bumper production. So now see, this is bumper production for all people. So in the market altogether the supply is increasing. I'm not talking about bumper production for the single farmer. If bumper production is there for single farmer, then he is lucky in that year. Okay, now if normal market situation is there and for a single person it is bumper production means he is lucky. He will get better prices and he could sell everything and he will become rich also. But I'm talking about general situation, overall market situation, overall market supply is more, everybody is having bumper production, then the prices will come down and the farmers will suffer like anything. So in this situation, who will suffer? Farmers will suffer. Now, do you think farmer will produce or he will have any incentive or motivation to produce next year? He won't produce. So do you think supply will be less at that time? So supply curve shift leftward. Then what will happen? Prices will go up like anything. So 10 will become 20, 20 will become 30, 30 will become 100. Like that the prices will go up. Then who will suffer? Consumer will suffer. Okay, so this is, forget about that part. Okay, and let's talk about one important concept, MSP. So what the government will do? to give a confidence to farmer, government will say that whatever produce is there, government will procure unlimited quantity of commodity at this particular price, let's say 6 rupee. Government will fix a price 6 rupee. That will be taken into consideration the production and the cost of production also, and some marginal profit will also be given. So at 6 rupee, if you see your 14,000 kg is there, so you will get around 84,000. Okay, at 6 rupee you'll get around 84,000, and minus cost of production, let's say 50, you will be getting some profit here because of government intervention. And that is why government is giving minimum support price. The concept of minimum support price we will discuss in detail when we discuss about agriculture. There I'll talk about minimum support price, procurement price, and all subsidies, everything we will discuss in detail over there. And the recommendations related to procurement price, procurement subsidy, etc. also we will cover over there. So we have divided into different modules to cover systematically, so you will not face any problem over there. So here just understand, this is the reason why government is giving the minimum support price. If minimum support price is not offered, if the farmer is suffering this year, he will not produce next year, so the consumer will suffer. So that will result into a total pathetic situation in the economy, and that is not desirable. That's why government is offering minimum support price, and this is a objective of minimum support price, to maintain a balance between the consumer and the farmer. Okay, farmer should not be at loss this year, because next year consumer will be at loss and overall economy will be at loss together. Next is income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand. See here, earlier elasticity of demand. Simply if I am saying elasticity of demand, it is price. Okay, I am only talking about price. What is that? If I am saying elasticity, percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price. So when I am simply saying elasticity, this is the case. If I am saying income elasticity, it is related to income. So here EY, why, you know, income. Previous session I have told you, EY income. So percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in income. So this is the expression. Okay, that means it is a responsiveness of demand to the change in income. Earlier, responsiveness of demand to the change in prices. Here, income. Now if you remember, when we discussed about demand curve, at that time also I have told you demand curve is there, and there is a special type of demand curve, that is income demand curve. So if demand curve is like this, quantity demanded and price, what is the law of demand? Higher the price, lower the demand, right? Quantity demanded is low here, but price is coming down, you can see higher the demand. Price is coming down, demand is increased. What is the income demand curve? So simply if I am saying demand curve, this is what you need to draw. Otherwise, specifically if I am saying income demand curve, it looks upward. Here it is downward sloping, income demand curve is upward, right? You can see here Y here. So instead of price, that will be income. Here quantity demanded. Why upward sloping? Because direct relation is there. Less the income, less the demand. More the income, more the demand. So here, more the price, demand is less. Less the price, demand is more. The inverse relation, that's why downward sloping. Why upward sloping here? More the income, demand will be more. Less the income, demand will be less. It is a direct relation, that's why upward sloping. Okay, so here also, when we are talking about income elasticity of demand, you need to specifically say income elasticity. If you are simply saying elasticity of demand, it is related to price. Earlier also, here also, when you are simply saying demand curve, it is related to price. If it is related to income, you have to specifically say income demand curve. Similarly here also, and when you are representing also, you need to use EY. Okay, now here also exactly the same thing. So if EY equal to percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price, what are the possibilities? The possibilities include EY greater than 1, like what we have discussed before. Before we have discussed E greater than 1. Now EY greater than 1. So what was E greater than 1? Elastic demand, right? So here what we will say is income, we will add income elastic demand. That's the only difference, otherwise it's same. So what all items will come here? Luxury items. If it is elastic, luxury items. Okay, then what about EY less than 1? EY less than 1, here it is earlier E less than 1, inelastic. So here income inelastic. Okay, so if you need to write a definition, the definition is actually responsiveness of quantity demanded to change in income. Okay, that is a definition. Now here EY greater than 1 means first case numerator will be more. I am not explaining here because we have already explained. So here percentage change in quantity demanded will be more than percentage change in price. Here percentage change in quantity demanded will be less than percentage change in price. That's why you are getting less. Okay, now the third possibility, E equal to 0. E equal to 0 means numerator is 0. That means percentage change in quantity demanded equal to 0. That means demand is not changing. That is perfectly inelastic demand. Income is increasing or decreasing, demand remain the same. Medicine is an example. The same examples will be here also. Okay, so here example you can say medicine. It doesn't matter whether your income is increasing or decreasing. Essential medicine you have to buy. If it is cancer, if it is vitamin tablets, then it will change. That may be inelastic. Here perfectly inelastic. Okay, so in demand is not at all changing. This change in demand is 0. Whether the price is increasing or decreasing, that is not at all affected. Now what is the next possibility? EY equal to 1. So EY equal to 1 means it is unitary income elastic demand. So what you are actually doing is you are only adding this income, word income here. Otherwise the concepts are almost same. Now here one new concept is here. Fifth one, EY less than 0. What do you think is this? When will this happen? When this EY will be less than 0? The possibility is actually, see, EY is percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price. When it will be less than 0? So when this will be less than 0 means it has to be negative. When this will happen, you can see here, from this you can tell it will be negative when this income will be increased but this will be decreased. Okay, so income increased and quantity demanded will decrease. Is it reverse to or is it opposite to what we have discussed? Normally what we have discussed, the law of demand, income is high, the quantity demanded will be high. Income is low, quantity demanded will be low. This is what the normal situation. But don't you think this is reverse? Yes, this is reverse. And when it will happen? This will happen in case of inferior goods. This will happen in case of inferior goods. This is a case of normal situation. This is a case of normal goods. Okay, in case of inferior goods, what will happen? When the price is increasing, the demand will decrease. In case of inferior goods, for example, now I consume jowar. Now I am consuming jowar. My income is so less. But if my income is increasing, I will shift from jowar to rice. So here jowar was inferior good. That's why when my income increased, I am shifting to rice, so the demand for jowar is actually decreased. But you cannot generalize it. Maybe I like jowar, and even if my income is increased, I will still continue jowar. So you can't generalize it, but for the purpose of explaining this concept, I have told you where this will happen. This will happen in inferior goods, but in normal goods this won't happen. Normal goods, whenever income is increasing, the demand will also increase. But inferior goods, if your income is increasing, those inferior good demand will come down. But there are certain people who may like to continue with the inferior good also. If I wish to consume or continue with jowar despite my income increase, what will happen? I can't generalize it, but I have given you some example. So this is a possibility in case of only inferior goods. Now what do you mean by Giffen good? Giffen good. Okay, so it is actually named after Robert Giffen. So these are those inferior goods. These are those inferior goods whose demand increase with increase in prices. So here I am talking about inferior goods whose demand increase when the price of that good is increasing. For example, this is what I am saying. I'm talking about inferior good only. Within that there is a category. This is what Giffen good. Okay, so here also I am talking about a reverse relation. Their demand, quantity demanded of Giffen good will increase when the price increase. So this is also a reverse relation. So now we have talked about two reverse relation. First one was related to inferior good before. When income is increasing, quantity demanded will decrease. In case of inferior good, this is a reverse relation to the demand concept that we have discussed. Here also, when price is increasing, quantity demanded is increasing. This is also reverse relation. Why? Because normally price is increasing, quantity demanded should decrease. But here it is increasing. Why it is happening? It is in case of inferior good. This is specific to inferior good. Why is this happening? For that, to understand that, you need to assume certain things. The person is so poor. Let's take two people. Let's take one person, one household. So let's say that household is having only 200 rupee with them for their food requirement. Only 200 rupees there, and they need to consume 20 kilogram of food grain. Okay, for their maintaining their nutrition, they need to consume 20 kilogram of food grain. So how they are managing is, let's say 6 rupee per kg for jowar, and wheat, let's say 14 rupee per kg. Now they need to consume 20 kg, but it should come in 200. So what they do is, they will consume 10 kg from here, 10 kg from here. So this is 60 rupee and this is 140 rupee. So total they are able to maintain 200. Now from 6 to 7, let's suppose jowar price is increased. That means inferior good. The price is increased from 6 to 7. There is an increase. Now if they have only 200, do you think that they can meet the 20 kg requirement? No. But you can't change 200, because I have told you already, poor person, he don't have money. So what is the only choice now? You have to cut short the consumption of wheat, reduce wheat, and then buy jowar. That is a choice, right? So what will happen now? Now you will reduce wheat. You may buy 11 kg of jowar and 9 kg of this. This is the only way in which you can solve this problem. So what happened? From 10 kg to 11 kg, demand increased when the price increased. So the price increased, demand increased. Where? In case of jiffin goods. So I've told you the condition. The person is poor, no other alternative, no other choices. Okay, and essential item. So jiffin good is those part of inferior good, which is showing a reverse relation. When the price is increasing, demand is increasing because of the situation. Then there is another concept of Veblen good. Veblen good. These are luxurious goods like designer aeroplane, diamond, rare articles, etc. Their price will increase, then demand will increase. So actually demand increase when the price is increasing. When the price decreasing, demand will come down, because I've told you these are for show off. If this is for show off, when you're buying it when the prices are reducing, people will tell you that you have bought it when the prices are coming down. That is not considered good. Okay, so this is for show off. So demand will be high when the prices are going high. So this is Veblen good. Okay, so this concept is actually given by T. Veblen. So price is increasing. In case of this jiffin good also, jiffin goods also, price is increasing, quantity demanded is increasing. Both are one and the same or not? Both are not same. In case of Veblen good, these are luxury items. This is for show off. But in case of jiffin good, these are part of inferior good. But the relation is same. In both cases, what is the commonality? Price is increasing, demand is increasing. Both are, reverse relation. Normally, when price is increasing, demand will decrease. This is a normal situation. When price is decreasing, demand will increase. This is a normal situation. But here it is a reverse relation. But two types of situation. Veblen good is talking about show off goods. That means the high price goods. Okay, this is the demand will increase basically to show off. What about inferior good? That is because of poor. You can understand like this. Veblen goods is for poor people and jiffin good is for, or Veblen good is for rich people and jiffin for poor people. Jiffin good is those inferior good whose price is increasing when price is increasing, then demand will increase. Veblen good, superior good, rare articles, diamonds, etc. When the price is going up, the demand will increase. Okay, now when we talked about the determinants of elasticity, let me tell you this also. What are the determinants of elasticity? Determinants of elasticity. So first one, actually, nature of commodity. Nature of commodity. It depends on like whether it is necessity. So necessity or luxury. Okay, so if it is necessity like medicine, it is inelastic. If it is luxury, it will be elastic. There may be a choice. Okay. Secondly, availability of substitutes. Availability of substitutes. If substitutes are available, then elastic. Substitutes available, then elastic. No substitute available, then inelastic. Choice. Okay. Then third one, habitual. Habitual. See, even though let's say AC is a luxury item, so you will say elastic, but there are some people who cannot survive without AC. For them, that is essential item. They can survive without a bed or a cot, but without AC they can't survive. So that is essential for them. You don't have any choice. So for them, that become inelastic. So even AC, which is a luxury item, which can be inelastic because if it is habitual item. Okay, so if it is habituated, this is inelastic. You don't have choice. Then what about income? 4-1 income. Income I'll divide 3 category. Poor people, very low income, then medium income, then very high income. So these 3 category are there. Very low income, their demand is inelastic. Why? The reason is they might be spending that very low income, let's say 2,000, 3,000, whatever they have on food items. They don't buy too much luxury items. So their demand is always inelastic. What about medium income? This will be elastic. Why? Because this is middle class. If they get offers on AC, mobile phone, TV, cars, etc., they will buy it. So their demand is elastic. What about very high income people? Their demand is inelastic. Why this is inelastic? Because their demand will not affect the price. Whatever will be the price, they will buy. Mukesh Ambani will not wait for the price of a Mercedes Benz to come down to buy it, right? Anytime they'll go and buy. So price won't affect them at all. Their demand also inelastic. So these are the determinants of demand. These are the determinants of elasticity. So I hope you understood. Mostly you can understand in terms of choice. If choice is there, elastic. If choice is not there, inelastic. If it is necessary, inelastic. If it is luxury, elastic. Okay. So I hope you understood. If you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID. Follow me over there. Join me in the Telegram channel, or you can get in touch with me in my contact number. This is my Facebook ID, Zia Safir or Zia IAS. So I hope to see you soon. If you have any doubt related to civil services, writing answers for online classes or anything related to civil services,